the starting lineup for Pennsylvania. They go with 2 forwards and 3 guards. Ugana Onyekwe, their leader, averaging about 19 points per game. He's one forward. Coco Archibong the other. And then the 3 guards, Jeff Schiffner, inexperienced Charlie Kopp playing because of injuries, and then freshman Tim Begley. Head coach Fran Dunphy in his 13th season as the coach at the University of Pennsylvania. Temple starting lineup, a last-minute change. Ron Rollerson, bothered by a hip injury, is out of the lineup, so Temple will go with a 3-guard look. It's 1 forward, Alex Westby. The center is Kevin Lyde, and then 3 guards, Brian Polk, Lynn Greer, averaging 24.5 a game, and David Hawkins. John Chaney, head coach for Temple, in his 20th season as head man with the Owls. His teams have won 434 games, and he's taken his team to the NCAA tournament in 17 of the last 18 years. That streak is in a little bit of jeopardy if his Temple team doesn't turn things around, maybe beginning this afternoon.
Well, a lot of things are bothering the Temple team of late, and you always will when you have a 5-game losing streak going. Probably most important of which is their zone defense has not been kind to them, and it's usually what they rely on. And the reason being is they're not making their slides well. They're not getting out and covering 3-point shooters, and that could be trouble against Penn because Penn relies heavily on the 3-point shot. So missing Ron Rollerson today will not be that big a deal because they need quicker, more athletic players to cover those wings and corners.
You saw John Chaney 19-1 in 20 games against the Penn Quakers, but this is a Penn team that already has a Big 5 win against Villanova, and it was the first time in several years that the Quakers have defeated the Wildcats. So Penn looking for that Villanova-Temple double. The Owls looking to end a 5-game losing streak. This is Lynn Greer shooting right from the get-go, put it off the back of the rim. Quakers come quickly the other way, and Jeff Schiffner takes it into the front court.
Right away off the miss, Penn looking to push the ball as quickly as possible. It's pretty much what you have to do against Temple before they set up in their half-court defense. You like to get out and get some easy looks at the basket instead of having to go against this time and time again.
Schiffner makes a move. This is Begley, the freshman. Put it off the rim and then rebounded by Kevin Lyne. If you go back to Temple's last game against DePaul, Lynn Greer seemed to be looking to pass early and let other guys take the shot. That first possession a moment ago, he took a shot right away.
Well, he was 4 for 19 last Saturday. DePaul took a lot of credit with their kind of jump defenses, giving him a lot of different looks. That had a little bit to do with it, but I think Lynn Greer was more intent on getting his teammates involved and passed up a lot of shots early in that game. I don't think he's going to do that today. He's going to make sure he shoots a better percentage than 4 for 19.
Off the Alex Westby miss, Penn back up into the front court. No score early in the game. Quakers work it around. Coco Archibong making the move, dishing to Begley, now Charlie Kopp. Tim Begley, the freshman, to Charlie Kopp, a sophomore. Kopp behind a screen, gives up the dribble. Well covered against the zone defense. Now Archibong. Archibong about 12 feet away, bangs it in.
Tough shot. Nothing was really going there. Charlie Kopp, a sophomore, trying to run the offense right now. You see, you're going to get in trouble against the zone if you put the ball on the floor too much, unless you're driving into a seam.
Lynn Greer not looking for teammates there. He took it to the rack and scored.
He's going to make sure he gets off and gets some good scoring opportunities, and I think then in time, his teammates will get more involved.
Greer with a season-low 10 points against DePaul in Temple's narrow loss to the Blue Demons last weekend. Archibong again, and Coco Archibong with a quick 4 points.
I think Penn would like to try to stretch that zone as much as possible, keep the floor spread, and then get some good ball movement, and then time, whenever you can, get the ball into the middle of the zone, and they'll get those little 15, 16-foot jump shots.
Brian Polk passing to Alex Westby. And now it's Lynn Greer on the left against Charlie Kopp. That's a mismatch in Temple's favor. Greer to Hawkins, Westby, Brian Polk, a long 3, rim down. And the rebound scrambled for and retained by Kevin Lyde.
Well, Penn all season long has been getting hurt on the backboards. They give up about 14 offensive rebounds a game to just 7 for themselves. So it's something they have to try to overcome against a bigger, stronger, more athletic Temple team.
Here's Jeff Schiffner for 3. Rebound Archibong, the offensive board there, and he finished it with the deuce.
Coco Archibong off to a terrific start, knocking down the 2 jump shots, so he's feeling his oats right now. But for Pennsylvania to be successful, Chris Ugana Onyekwe has to be involved in the scoring area, and they got to move the ball.
Off the double team, Penn trying to force the turn. Hawkins recovers it for Temple. Shot clock still ticking down. It's at 15 seconds. There's still time for the Owls. Temple does not turn it over much. They've got one already in almost a second. But Alex Westby scores from the baseline here.
They better not turn it over, because that's a no-no for John Chaney. And they don't make a lot of difficult passes. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to take that first good-looking jump shot that comes along. John Chaney is not enthralled with the amount of threes, however, that they took last week against the Bull. 8 for 36. You're not going to get fouled on all those three-point attempts.
And Nyekwe with the basketball there. Cross-court on the left, it's Cobb. Now Begley to Archibong to Nyekwe. Settles in for three. Put it off the rim too hard, and the rebound to David Hawkins.
Even though that shot doesn't go down, once you get the ball inside up, Archibong quickly swung it to the other side. It's a good shot in rhythm for Onyekwe, who's shooting the ball very, very well from beyond the arc.
Nyekwe at 53% from three-point range. Made about 2 out of 3 from the three-point line in each game this year. Jeff Schiffner clears the rebound. Penn's got the ball. Quakers lead 6-4. Jeff Schiffner cranks up a three. In and out. Good rebound by Archibong. The much improved Coco Archibong. Here's Nyekwe, well covered by Westby. Now Charlie Cobb. Schiffner on the left side. Archibong. Here's Nyekwe. Three from the right corner. Too hard. And a foul by Jeff Schiffner, who got behind David Hawkins and fouled him from behind going for the rebound. Archibong with a good start. 6 points for him. We've got an official timeout. Penn leads 6-4. 15 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half. And the Quakers lead by 2.
Hi, everybody. I'm Don Cannon, host of Inside Golf, presented by Yuengling, with an invitation for you to join me every Saturday night at 6, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll take you on a tour of some of the great locations in the tri-state area, and once in a while, an exotic location or two. We'll teach you how to play better golf. We'll talk golf. We'll spend time together Saturday nights at 6. Join me for Inside Golf, presented by Yuengling, right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Key newcomer for the Penn Quakers this year, Andrew Toole, got off to a great start this year, but out 3 weeks. It suffered a stress fracture and could have gone with or without surgery, but they decided to do surgery on December 6th. Transfer from Elon College down in North Carolina, and you see in the first 7 games for Penn this year, he was averaging 14.6 points per game. Penn was 6-1 in the 7 games with Andrew Toole, and now with 2 games so far without him, 0-2.
And Andy Toole was the big hero in Penn's late win against Villanova, hitting those 2 critical free throws. Talking with Fran Dunphy, the coach of Penn, before the game, I said, "How much do you miss Andy Toole?" And he said, "Are you kidding me?" He said he just means so much to our team. Just the leadership that he has out on the floor. He keeps the ball moving. He's a threat from the perimeter, knows who to get the ball to and when. Although Fran Dunphy did not want to make a big deal out of a missing player. They knew they were going to miss him. The key for Penn is to have him back for the Ivy League season so they can possibly win the conference and go to the NCAA tournament.
So Penn without Andrew Toole, Temple today without Ron Roluson. And right here, Penn leading 6-4, just into the game, about 5 minutes into the first half. Here's Lynn Greer watching a double now. Coco Archibong picks him up on the outside. David Hawkins with it here. That's freshman Tim Begley defending him. Now Kevin Lai, traveling violation. And Temple has its second turnover.
Well, so far, Penn has done a good job of keeping the ball out of the hands of Kevin Lai inside, and I think Temple has had something to do with it as well. They have not executed well enough to get him in good possession, where he should just be able to overpower either Onyekwe or Coco Archibong inside if he gets that position.
Here's Archibong out on the left baseline. Steps to his right, puts it off the rim short, and then a rebound to Kevin Lai. Lynn Greer on the move. Greg Jefferson has come into the Temple lineup, wearing uniform number 1. As Greer makes a move, we've got a foul called on Pennsylvania.
As he made that move, Jeff Schiffner coming up, seeing the look in the eye of Lynn Greer that he was going to try to make a move on Charlie Kopp. So, Penn will mix it up a little bit too. They will, of course, concentrate their defense on Lynn Greer, play a little triangle zone, and then have one man on him and another man chasing him. Anything to try to disrupt him. They know of his capabilities as a scorer.
Dwayne King, number 32, into the Penn lineup. And Tim Begley has checked out. And we'll take a look, as you see, at his left ankle. Last foul called on Charlie Kopp, his first personal. Temple inbounds. Greer whips a nice pass to Jefferson, or to Hawkins, and then to Jefferson. And Jefferson gets fouled going in. Greer to Hawkins to Jefferson, and Greg Jefferson gets the free throw.
Well, Lynn Greer drawing the defense to him and feeling that double team coming. Did a good job of escaping on the dribble, finding the open man. Really, the Penn defense relatively small inside. Now you have the athleticism of Archibong Onyekwe, but they don't have a lot of height compared to a guy like Kevin Lyde. But good recovery in there to at least get a piece of that shot. And foul.
Foul was called on Dwayne King, his first. Jefferson at the line making the first, and the second is no good. Rebound Ugonna Onyekwe. So the Quakers lead 6-5, and Pennsylvania has the ball. David Klatsky with it here into the lineup for the first time. He will get most of the minutes at point guard, but he comes in off the bench with the injury to Andrew Toole. Fran Dunphy starting Charlie Kopp, but Klatsky in off the bench will see most of the point guard minutes. Now Archibong passing to Onyekwe, and as he does, we've got a foul called on Temple. Greg Jefferson called for the foul, his first.
Well, the openings against the zone defense are going to be in those corners if you move the ball from one side to the other. The other opening is when you get the ball into the middle, either for a shot or a dump down inside as they got there, or a swing over to the weak side. But ball movement is the key, but that's something Penn has done well so far this season.
Klatsky steps up to the foul line. Onyekwe recovers out in midcourt. Neither team has shot well so far, and only 11 points scored between these two teams combined. Now Dwayne King misses off the back of the rim, and Jefferson rebounds for Temple. Pennsylvania leads 6-5, almost 7 minutes in. David Hawkins watched by Jeff Schiffner. There's Kevin Lyde, and now Greg Jefferson launches a triple. Not a guy who shoots a lot.
Well, that's not exactly where you want to get the ball to Kevin Lyde, all the way deep in the corner. He's got an overwhelming size and height advantage on Onyekwe, but yet he is not battling for position. And when that ball was swung to David Hawkins, instead of getting in a triple threat position, he immediately put the ball on the floor, which took him out a good passing angle to Kevin Lyde inside.
As the pass was made, David Hawkins got his foot on the ball. So kickball will mean hand will inbound. Cheney disagrees with the way that was interpreted, but the shot clock resets, and Pennsylvania inbounds. Onyekwe out of the left corner. It's a three-guard look for Penn. Tim Begley is back in. There's Dwayne King and David Klatsky. They're the three guards. And then Onyekwe and Archibong on the front line. Begley's open, drives and dishes. Here's Archibong to Dwayne King. Onyekwe in the right corner. Steps up, nice drive, and he drew the foul.
Temple working extremely hard in their zone defense, which they know they have to do. They just have to do that to improve as a basketball team. But they know they have to do it against Penn because of their ball movement. The ball movement's been excellent for Penn so far in this game. And some shots have been there. That little driving opportunity is there. Temple working very hard and starting to get a little bit fatigued now as I look out on the floor. At least three of the Temple players bending over, hands on hips, hands on knees. A clear indication that the guys are winded.
Last foul called on Greg Jefferson. He's got 2. Onyekwe making 1 of 2 free throws, and Penn leads 7-5.
Another reason why Temple should be going inside to Kevin Lyde is to try to get Ugonna Onyekwe into foul trouble, which he generally winds up doing on his own in many of Penn's games.
Onyekwe and Archibong have been foul prone. In fact, Archibong is averaging 4 personal fouls a game. There's where you want Kevin Lyde if you're Temple.
Well, that's another thing. Maybe Lynn Greer saying, hey, big fella, you want to get the ball? Get some of my misses.
Lyde Hyde with the offensive rebound, put back to tie the score. Then a miss by Tim Begley. Ball out of bounds, last touch by whom? By Temple. We're going to have an official timeout here and then inbound when we come back. 11:46 left in the first half. Tie score. Not a lot of points. 7-7.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore.
Now get Chrysler PG Cruiser starting at just $16,800 plus 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection.
John Hancock Champions on Ice, featuring Olympic and world champions in an all-new ice spectacular. Dorothy Hamill, Nancy Kerrigan, Rudy Galindo, Victor Petrenko, Surya Bonali, Philippe Candeloro, Nicole Bobek, and many more. The lights, the music, together with the world's best skaters in a live show that'll leave you breathless.
Coming to Sovereign Bank Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Take a look at this, comparing what Temple did last year to what they've done so far this year. You see a 4-6 record last year, which when all was said and done last season became 24-13. This year off to a 3-7 start. And then if you look at the rest of the statistics, first column, last column, a lot of similarities. Middle column is how Temple turned it around as they got into the Atlantic 10 into January and February last year.
And once again, John Chaney's team play a very tough schedule in the early part of the season. That's the big reason for the 3-7 record and the 5-game losing streak. Let's take a look at that last call. There was a discrepancy here amongst the officials, and it did look like, I'd say it should be Temple ball going the other way. There was a difference of opinion. The officials talked it over, and as far as I know, they did award the ball to Temple.
And we'll see how they sort it out. 11:46 left in the first half. Both teams have been cold, some good defense, 7-7 score.
And the one number that was not on that graphic was the three-point shooting that Temple has given up this year so far, 38%. Now that is very high. So far, very good today, as Penn has missed all 7 of their attempts.
As you can see, it was decided it would be Temple ball, but then the very obvious offensive foul call as David Hawkins knocked down a defender and sends it going the other way.
A little full court pressure, and Temple trying to do the right thing. Problem here is, though, David Hawkins has his head down, and when he finally lifted that head to make that pass, there was Coco Archibald.
Yikes.
Right in his path. But David Hawkins, he's put together and physical.
11.5 left in the first half, and we're still tied at 7. Begley loops it to Dwayne King.
Different looking zone this time, 1-3-1 with Lynn Greer on the back end. Of course, he's going to be a lot quicker getting out to those corners.
There's Klatsky sending it to Inyekwe. Now Archibong in deep. Kicks it back out to King. And the 3 again, no good.
But Penn can't complain about their looks. They're getting good shots. They've been in rhythm, albeit the Temple zone has been running around furiously, trying to get out and challenge those things. Bad-looking jumper by Westby.
Rushed it after Begley fell down, and now Penn comes the other way. A steal here, and Pennsylvania's got it. Niall Murray, freshman guard, just into the game, takes it back to the Owls. Here's David Hawkins up in the front court. Faking, leaning, shot blocked, but a foul on Ugonna Inyekwe. This will get Hawkins to the line.
Well, David Hawkins trying to get something going. Is very strong in there. Knows he has that height and strength advantage over David Klatsky. Had a good first game back. He is averaging 15 points a game, but shooting very poorly from the field. 35% overall, 26% in threes, and just 66% from the line. I don't think he's all that worried about his percentages. He's just trying to get back in rhythm. He knows he hurt his team by missing the first 7. He was able to practice with the ball club, but because of some academic problems, had to sit out.
1 for 2 from the line here. Temple goes on top. Owls lead 8-7. There's Archibald. Rips it to Dwayne King. Open. Does not shoot. And the ball knocked away out of bounds. Last touch by Niall Murray. Good quick defensive work.
And Dwayne King knows he made a mistake there. He's got to be ready to shoot that ball and not throw it back into the teeth of the defense. And he's going to hear it from Coach Jackson over there.
As King checks out of the lineup. A little bit of a bump that knocks David Klatsky down, and it's a foul on Lynn Greer, his first. There's Dwayne King getting an explanation from assistant coach Jackson.
An extensive one.
From close range.
And Dwayne King doing the smart thing, as all players should do when a coach is giving constructive criticism or just general coaching, is nod your head yes.
I thought you were going to say tune out. Tune out and nod your head yes.
That probably goes on as well.
It's all those NBA years.
And that's not all that bad. Just nod yes, though. That's the key.
Temple leads 8-7 coming up on the midway mark already of the first half. Teams have been struggling with their shooting. Klatsky on a three. That was too hard. And the rebound to Niall Murray, and then bodies flying. Klatsky goes down. I don't think they're going to call any foul here at all. Or are they? Yeah. They do call a foul. And it is on David Klatsky.
He looked like he took the worst of that, and he got the elbow in the chest.
First personal on Klatsky. Here's Lynn Greer for three, and that's nothing but net.
And Jeff Schiffner just kind of dropped his head, rolled his eyes there. He felt he had Lynn Greer very well covered, and he did. But Lynn Greer's capable of making shots like that. Yet Temple just unable to get the ball inside to Kevin Lai, where you would think they just have an overwhelming advantage.
Temple leads by 4. Biggest lead for either team now today. There's Adam Chubb out on the right baseline, buries it. Adam Chubb, a sophomore, 6'9", from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Here's Penn, another much-needed big man, to block a shot.
Niall Murray with a rush three. Westby missed the bunny off the offensive rebound, and now Klatsky comes the other way for the Quakers. Schiffner up in the front court. Three-point shot off the back of the rim. Well, Temple continues, or Penn continues to get open three.
Well, that's the modern-day fast break now. It was a 3-on-3 situation, but when you stop at that three-point line, you're generally going to be open. Not the highest percentage of shots, but yet that's Penn's game. They take about 23 threes a game, make 9 on average. However, they shoot it better when Andy Toole is part of the mix.
Jeff Schiffner, and Penn is now 0 for 11 from three-point range. Schiffner in close, and that's a lot easier.
Rare offensive rebound opportunity for Penn, but they do cash in on it. And that zone defense is vulnerable against offensive rebounding. You don't really have anybody to box out there, and consequently, there's some cracks and seams that you could dive into, come off with that loose rebound.
David Hawkins thinking about the triple, feeds it in the post. Kevin Lai tries to back in, gives up the dribble, and then gets double-teamed. No foul called. Niall Murray on the left wing, and the rebound taken by Schiffner. And now we do get a foul called on David Hawkins in the rebounding setup.
Did you mention that Kevin Lai bulled into Adam Chubb? he is clearly frustrated and fatigued right now, and understandably so. He's winding up getting the ball at 16, 17 feet here. Now the double team comes over, and he can't see anybody to throw it to. He's going to try to split it, and when a big guy like Kevin Lai tries to split the double team, bodies are going to fly.
Got elbow two guys at the same time. This is Tim Begley, and there is a three from Penn. They were 0 for 11. So here's a Penn team 1 for 12 from three-point range. Terrible, and they're supposed to be, that's their bread and butter game. They've got a three-point lead.
And the reason being, Temple is not doing anything to hurt them at this end of the floor. They're not overpowering them inside, which something they should be able to do.
Niall Murray, freshman, makes a move, drives in, and the floater goes. Good work getting inside. Yeah,
good play that time by Kevin Lai. Actually got the ball in a little bit better position. The double team started to come. And by reversing it to the other side, got a good rhythm play for Niall Murray.
They call that a palming violation on David Klatsky. John Chaney and company down by 1. We've got an official timeout. David Klatsky, the junior, his team leading by 1. And finally getting a triple. 7:09 left in the first half.
It's a New Year's Eve Bowl showdown. All-American David Carr leads Fresno State against T.J. Duckett in Michigan State. The Silicon Valley Classic Monday on Comcast Sportsnet.
Tuesday, start off your new year with 3 special episodes of Beyond the Glory. At 7, it's a tribute to Mom. At 8, the U.S. women's soccer team. And at 9, Dale Earnhardt. Go Beyond the Glory, Tuesday night starting at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. After every Eagles game, turn to Comcast Sportsnet to find out what happened on the sidelines. Hear what the players have to say and get Eddie Reed's evaluation of the team's performance. Plus, statistics and game analysis by NFL experts. Join Comcast Sportsnet's Michael Marquette and Derek Gunn, along with former Eagle Von Hebron, former Mayor Ed Riddell, and Ray Dittinger from NFL Films for the best insight, analysis, and interviews on Tenet Health System Presents Post Game Live. After every Eagles game on Comcast Sportsnet.
John Gurevich, Matt Kukas at Leocore Center at Temple University. 7:09 left in the first half. Pennsylvania leads Temple 14-13. Penn missing its first 11 three-point field goal attempt, but finally Tim Begley makes one.
Well, John, they're not going to stop shooting them. It's what they have to do. They're smaller. They've got to spread the floor. There's Lynn Greer from the outside looking more and more for his offense, which is fine, but I would say at least 3 out of 4 slow times down the floor. You want to go inside to Kevin Lyde or explore that. Now, Kevin Lyde is a perfect 1-for-1 from the field, but that's on a follow-up layup. He does have 4 rebounds, but clearly frustration has set in for him. I would be surprised if he has to take a little bit of a breather right now. But when you have a guy that's 6'10", 6'11", about 280, 90 pounds, and can take up, he's going to stay in the game, but can take up that kind of position, you've got to really work to dump that ball inside. Something good's going to happen. He's either going to get good enough position to get a lay-in, or he's going to draw double teams, and that's going to get good open shots for his teammates.
Again, Ron Rollerson, who has been the starting center, not available for Temple in the game this afternoon, has been bothered by a strained hip and is sitting this one out. All right, Temple on the attack. Quakers lead by 1. An open Brian Polk on the left wing for 3. Rebound Coco Archibong. He's really stepped up this year. Archibong averaging 17.5 points and about 6 rebounds a game. And he'll go to the line right here at the offensive end.
Well, John, as freshmen, both Onyekwe and Archibong looked like it was, Katie barred the door. These two are going to have a fabulous career here at Penn. And freshman year, very good. Both of them, I thought, even though numbers improved a little bit, their overall games tailed off a bit. And a big problem with that is the first year, they were pretty much covered up by the guards, Michael Jordan and Matt Langle, who got most of the play, at least at the offensive end. And now they didn't have the guard presence last year that hurt them. And now this year with Andy Toole, at least in the beginning of the season, I think that was a big reason why the team got off to a good start and both forwards got off to a good start.
Archibong with 7 this afternoon, coming off a 20-point game in Penn's last game, a loss last weekend in overtime against Davidson. Archibong had 20 points and 6 rebounds. A couple of free throws here. He's got 8 points. Quakers lead by 3.
And that lets Penn set up their 3-quarter trap, just a token trap, just to slow things up. Not that Temple is in a hurry to go anywhere. Very slow-paced game as far as scoring is concerned, but that's fine with John Chaney and the Temple out.
Niall Murray missed a 3. Rebound Tim Begley. Temple missing its 3s. We said Penn missing 3-point shots. Temple's missing 3s. Charlie Kopp put this one off the iron. And then Brian Polk going way up in the air to corral the rebound. Penn 16, Temple 13. A driving Lynn Greer stops and dishes to Noah, as it turned out.
A little upset with Alex Wesby for not moving to the open spot, but that's about as upset as Lynn Greer gets. Not very. Wouldn't want to play in a poker game with Lynn Greer. Actually, he had Kevin Lyde open on the baseline right near the basket. A little bounce pass would have done the trick.
First time Lynn Greer has turned it over in the last couple of games.
Yeah, he had 8 assists, no turnovers in the game last Saturday against DePaul.
Inside rebound, Adam Chubb goes up for follow, gets fouled in the act of shooting or not. 5:45 left in the first half. Penn leads by 3. The foul is called on Lynn Greer. Now, Greer and Hawkins each have 2 personals.
Well, again, in the zone, generally, you're not going to get in trouble too much with the zone. It's one of the good things about it. It can protect your players. You can be as aggressive as you want to be or not in that zone. Temple is at their best when their wing people on the zone are very aggressive and active because it generally creates turnovers. And with those turnovers and steals, they go the other way and get some easy baskets to take pressure off their half-court offense, which is quite frankly not very good.
This Adam Chubb here at the line missed the first several games of the year and is really just getting into a rhythm for the Quakers. You saw pretty good numbers against Davidson last weekend, and he's got 4 points this afternoon. Penn leads by 5. Here's a foul on the Quakers in the backcourt. 5-point lead for Penn. It's the biggest lead for either team so far. Fran Dunphy and company putting on some aggressive defense down on the baseline.
Well, once again, after the free throw situation and the made free throw, Penn even extending the trap a little bit more, and they'll do it again. Now, this is an opportunity for Temple to get the ball in the middle of it and attack. But right now, they look very tentative against it.
Yeah, you know what? Pat Kennedy used a little bit of this with Paul last weekend against Temple. And we have a Temple turnover. 5 turns for Temple in the first half. And the coach is not overjoyed.
Well, that'll elicit that kind of frown from John Chaney. He's very upset with his team right now, in particular Alex Wesby. He does not want them going east-west against any kind of pressure in the backcourt. He wants them to go north-south, get the ball moving forward, either over the top or into the middle, and then swing it.
David Klapsky at 3. Rebound in the corner, out of bounds. Last touch by Brian Polk of Temple. For Pennsylvania, you saw Jan Fickiel has come into Fran Dunphy's lineup. A 6'10" freshman from Germany. Jan Fickiel wears uniform number 11, replacing Adam Chubb. An 11-2 Penn run. Temple had been up by 4. Now it's Penn by 5. Good pass inside to Onyekwe.
Nice work against the 1-3-1 shape of that zone as the ball is being swung. And the defense kind of loses contact with players. They start to reverse to the other side almost by habit. And that's when you get those lob passes on the back end of the zone.
Owls on the attack now. A turnover. 6 turns. Lead pass for Onyekwe. Holt gets back. Onyekwe drives and goaltending as the shot gets blocked after it bounded off the glass.
Now Onyekwe getting out in the open floor. I could almost see the wheels turning in his head in the sense that he's so good with either hand around the basket, and he was kind of making sure he had the ball. He didn't want to commit a charge, and then decided to just go up with the short little jumper. But he uses his, as a right-hander, uses his offhand as well as probably any player in college basketball in and around the basket.
Greg Jefferson, who's come back in, a driving move, and a foul. This will be a blocking foul on Tim Begley of Penn. But Temple really is not playing with the kind of confidence you expect from a Temple Owl team.
That's exactly the word. Tentative is what they're showing right now. And I see the improvement. They've had a week to practice. I see the improvement with their zone as far as moving and quickness and coverages. And it'll always be a little better when one of the 2 big guys is out, whether it's Kevin Lyde or Ron Rollerson, because now you got your quicker guys out there. But at the offensive end, as I think where that lack of confidence is bearing its teeth, they just don't seem to have something that they really want to go to other than put the ball in the hands of Lynn Greer and let him create.
22-14. Tough shot in traffic by Onyekwe, rebounded by Line.
John Chaney really making the effort. Now, Lynn Greer out of the game. When's the last time he has sat for any appreciable length of time? He's not going to be out very long.
And this is a kid named Hawley Smith, a freshman forward. So John Chaney going deep into his bench. Westby missing a baseline shot. A rebound taken off by Begley. Now the other way. Onyekwe up on the front court. Klatsky, 3. Good. Oh, Penn has opened up an 11-point lead. Jeff Schiffner is down and shaken up. Clock is stopped. 3:56 left in the first half. Penn leads by 11. Jeff Schiffner of the Penn Quakers is hurt. We've got a timeout. We'll see what that's about when we come back. We've got a timeout here inside the 4-minute mark, and the last couple have been all Pennsylvania.
John Chaney. He's one of the best coaches in the country. He's a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. And now, you can be one of a limited number of people with your very own John Chaney bobblehead, courtesy of Comcast Sportsnet. The first 2,500 fans to attend the Temple, Rhode Island game on Saturday, January 12th at 4 will receive the null.
3:56 to go in the first half here at the Liacouras Center. Jeff Schiffner Take a look at this, and this fight for the loose rebound. Had that good position with Hawley Smith on his back, but Hawley Smith losing his footing, coming on the back of the heel of Schiffner. Penn didn't stop to worry about it, however. They went the other way and starting to get some transition opportunities. As now David Klatsky gets into the three-point brigade. Now it's only 2 for Penn. Mentioned earlier that they average making 9 a game. They're 2 for 15 from beyond the arc. Yet lead 25-14. There's Ron Rollerson. Got some health problems himself, unable to participate today.
You wondered out loud when the last time Lynn Greer had a rest during a game, and you have to go back to Temple's game against Duke about 3 weeks ago, first week of December. But other than that, Lynn Greer has played every minute, and in fact, because Temple played a double overtime game against Wisconsin, is actually averaging more than 40 minutes per game.
I think John Chaney wants to just have him sit there for a while, take a look at what's going out on the floor. He's not really talking to him. I glance over every once in a while to see if he's getting in his ear. As a senior, I think John Chaney knows that Lynn Greer knows what he's supposed to be doing out there, not only scoring himself, but get his teammates involved.
Penn has put together an 18-3 run over the last 6 minutes. Hey, you don't expect that from a Penn team against Temple. Kevin Lyde stepping up in the lane, so they got it inside to Lyde. He went to work and earns 2 free throws.
But John, inside is not 17 feet. If you get Kevin Lyde catching the ball out there all afternoon, you're going to be in good shape if you're the Penn Quakers. Lyde is going to go to the free throw line right now. But Kevin Lyde has to do a better job of working for better position along the edge of the lane and then try to get that defender, either if he's going to play right behind him, to back him as far in as possible, or to get him up on the shoulder where he can just turn, drop step, and lay it up.
The foul was called before Lyde went into the act of shooting, hence the 1-and-1. And with Lyde missing, Penn comes back the other way. Last foul was called on Coco Archibong, who has gone to the bench with 2 personal fouls. Quakers on the attack now. This is Charlie Kopp back in, has it in the left corner. Shot clock at 10 seconds. Kopp passes to Begley. Shot clock at 5. Kopp way outside, long 3 is no good.
Well, the epitome of patience, but also Penn couldn't get anything going. The ball was moving, but not as crisply as it had for much of this first half.
Niall Murray running the point for Temple right here. Murray's minutes have been in decline, but he's getting a lot of playing time this afternoon. Here's Westby left baseline. Turnaround jumper is good.
Well, Alex Westby, he's probably suffering the most from the return of David Hawkins, because with Hawkins out, Westby was expected to be more of a scorer. Now with Hawkins back, he's expected to be more of a defender.
25-16, and this is a traveling violation on Tim Begley. 3rd turnover committed by Penn.
Well, Penn clearly in control, but keep in mind, John, in their last game against Davidson, they were up early in that one, and even up late, relatively late in that one, and lost it in overtime. So I'm sure Fran Dunphy is going to keep reminding his team of that, not to put a negative in their minds by any means, but at halftime by saying, hey, we got to keep playing this type of game, because eventually Temple is going to come around here at the offensive end. You would think.
Yeah, Quakers still have a lot of work to do, as do the Owls. Foul called here down low. It looks like they're going to get Inyekwe. They do, and that's 2 on Ugonna Inyekwe.
Yeah, very quickly, mainly because Kevin Lyde is going to catch this ball on the edge of the lane here. So he's still not coming hard. But you can see a lot closer, his heel's almost on the edge of the lane. But when you're that big, if you come more aggressively to try to get that defender's body on you and spread yourself out, you know, make yourself wider, make yourself stronger, and demand the basketball. But right now, Kevin Lyde is playing like he's 5'10" instead of 6'10".
1-and-1 again for Lyde, and again he missed the front end. Inyekwe going high to get the rebound above the rim, and the Quakers come back the other way. So 25-16, Penn leads by 9. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Dwayne King, who's come back in, fakes, drives, gets the layup, and scores.
Once again, when the ball is swung, good things will happen against the zone, and just his quickness beat Kevin Lyde to that basket area. A little surprise, Fran Dunphy staying with Ogana Onyekwe with 2 personal fouls. We're under 2 minutes to go. And Penn with a relatively comfortable lead here.
Nice rebound by Niall Murray. Westby, 3, back of the rim. And again, a foul in the rebounding setup. And it's going against Penn. It looks like Jan Fickiel, the freshman from Germany. Yeah, his first personal.
Yeah, assistant coach David Duke just got in the ear of Fran Dunphy. I think he mentioned to him that Ogana Onyekwe has 2 personal fouls.
This is team foul number 10 on Penn, so it's the double bonus now, and Kevin Lyde will get 2 free throws here. And it's a good thing because he missed the first. So he's missing foul shots now, too.
Foul shooting has been a problem for him throughout his college career, shooting just 48% from the line coming in. Thought about entering the NBA draft. After last season, wisely chose to come back to school for some more seasoning.
Offensive rebound, Greg Jefferson couldn't finish. Adam Chubb rebounds, and then a foul inside. Contact, and the foul is on Kevin Lyde. Or is it? Could go the other way. I think they're going to get Adam Chubb, Penn.
Ogana Onyekwe, to my surprise, is still in the game. That's what I thought the substitution was going to be. Adam Chubb coming in for him. Instead, he came in for Fickiel. But Onyekwe very careful there not to pick up the foul, just jumped straight up in the air. But it has not hurt Penn to this point here. The derisive cheer from the home crowd for Kevin Lyde, eventually knocking down a free throw.
They did wind up with Adam Chubb on the foul, and Lyde for 2 free throws again, getting 1 for 2, and then in the scramble, loose ball off the deck for David Klatsky, and now we do get a call against Temple. So it's been a little bit, wacky the last minute or two. Greg Jefferson called for the foul, his 3rd, and they'll go the other way, and John Chaney will see the Penn Quakers get free throws here as David Klatsky goes to the line for 1 and 1 off the Jefferson foul.
Well, it's not been a thing of beauty, and
no.
Obviously, neither team shooting the ball well. And when teams struggle, as these are doing, offensively, the players get frustrated. They want to be involved in touching the basketball and getting out in the open floor, running, taking shots, making shots. And when you don't do that, your defense is going to suffer as well. And you just see the look on the face of Kevin Lyde, kind of tells you what's been going on for his first half.
And he might have gotten whacked in the mouth, as you see there, taking a look as well. Klatsky at the line, 1 and 1. First is good, second is good. So Klatsky, yeah, it's 2 for 2 at the foul line. It's 29-17. Penn leads by 12. 1 minute 9 seconds left in the first half, and Temple gets a 30-second timeout. Hey, stay with us at halftime. John Chaney on board. John Chaney was, as he is every year now in a little Comcast Sportsnet tradition, was the guest on Daily News Live on Christmas Eve, and we'll hear excerpts. It's interesting. John Chaney sounding off on the fans of Philadelphia. You'll hear that at halftime, and then we'll come back with highlights, analysis, and stats as well.
I just got around to reading all the different stories, especially the ones in Philadelphia, written about John Chaney on his well-deserved entrance into the Hall of Fame. Some fascinating things, as John told so many stories of his upbringing and what he went through as a youngster and going down to college at Bethune-Cookman and his days as an Eastern League professional player. And then his opportunity to coach first at Cheney State, now here at Temple. John, just a fascinating character and always just a treasure to listen to all his different stories and experiences.
A treasure, indeed.
Well, I find it that way. You may not, John, but we're in his house right now.
Indeed we are.
That he helped build with all the success that he has had, and past Temple coaches, Don Chaney, Harry Litwack, Josh Cody. Wow.
7 turnovers for Temple this afternoon, and they have been out of sync. gearing up for the Eagles Giants game. Dwayne King knocks down a 3. And look at this. Pennsylvania has opened up a 15-point lead. And John Chaney wants another timeout.
And John, for his reasons, and I'm sure they make all the sense in the world to him, keeping Lynn Greer on the sideline. We have not gotten any report whether Lynn is injured or not feeling well. I think it's more of lesson time as far as making his senior leading guard watch for a while and hopefully have him come out this second half all fired up. As Penn now starting to warm to the task, doing what they do best, knock down three-pointers.
31 seconds left in the first half. Penn has opened up a 15-point lead. Bench point scoring 14 points for Penn and just 2 for Temple off of their bench. Lynn Greer out of action for these last couple of minutes. He's got 2 personal fouls, so that could be part of John Chaney's thinking as well. Both Lynn Greer and David Hawkins have 2 fouls. And now we're in the final 30 seconds of the first half. Quakers lead 32-17. They have been in control the last 7-8 minutes. There's a long 3 by Brian Polk. Short rebound, Klatsky. I like to think that that's what John Chaney wants.
Yeah. Well, your 3 best offensive players, Lynn Greer, David Hawkins, Kevin Lyde, all sitting on the bench right now. I don't know what you can expect to get from these fellas that are on the floor right now who don't get much of the play. And now they're expected to execute in the half court and get a good shot. They really don't have any kind of an inside presence without Kevin Lyde or Ron Rollerson, who's not available today.
Buzzer sounds, and we have come to the end of the first half. What was a low-scoring, bad shooting first 10 minutes continued that way for Temple. Penn able to come out of its offensive woes and take a 15-point lead. And Lynn Greer, he of the 24.6 point per game average, goes to the locker room with his teammates with only 5 points to his credit. Intermission. Penn leads by 15. John Chaney and more to succeed, as has been the case. John Chaney and more to succeed, as has been the case all year. They've got to make 3-point shots. They were 0 for 11 from 3-point range, but as we start to take a look at some first half highlights, late in the half they began to make threes.
And John, they're a little rusty too. They have only played 2 games over the last 3.5 weeks. So and missing Andy Toole, who's out with that stress fracture, a key player for them, but they still have to rely on ball movement, quick ball movement, getting the ball in the middle of the zone, reversing it to the other side. And when they have done that throughout the game, and they're starting to warm up from the 3-point line, when they have moved the ball, they have gotten good shots. They just couldn't make any of them early.
We've been joined by the. Let's take a look at some highlights from the Chaney. One of the stories was Temple turnovers. They committed 7, and at times Penn was able to convert those into points.
And anytime you either get a long rebound or a steal, you want to get out and get something easy at the other end before Temple sets up their zone. Ogana Onyekwe getting out and getting a transition basket, and then Dwayne King with a nice up fake, able to go by 2 Temple owls. Pretty much cemented to the floor on that particular play.
Penn got some points off its bench.
Well, Lynn Greer was looking for his offense early. And here, nowhere to go, just jab stepping and releasing and getting the only 3-point shot for the Temple Owls. 1 for 13 from beyond the arc. And one of the rare turnovers for Lynn Greer, throwing it to nobody in particular. He wanted Alex Westby to step up to that open area.
Neither team shot particularly well. Penn got it going late in the first half, and for the first 20 minutes winds up shooting 37%. Temple at an ice-cold 24% from the floor, and as Matt mentioned, Temple 1 for 13 from 3-point range. Penn, which had been 0 for 11 for threes, then made 3 of its next 7, so they wind up at halftime 3 out of 18. Then free throws. You look at the Temple number, 4 for 12. Halftime, Pennsylvania 32, Temple 17. The second half is Temple 17. The second half is next. Post-game live at about 7:30 or so. We'll have everything you need to know, all the follow-up from the big one between the Eagles and the Giants coming up later on this afternoon. All right, right here, set to go with basketball. 32-17. Quakers lead by 15 points. Archibong, the individual scoring leader for the Penn Quakers, the 8-point first half, and a couple of guys with 5. And play resumes now. Penn inbounds. Temple leading scorer Lynn Greer, but with only 5 points in the first half. And in the background, the Quakers turning it over in their first possession of the second half. Dwayne King, who had a good first half, is starting the second half. Jeff Schiffner suffered an injured left ankle in the first half, is expected to return, but is not in the second half starting lineup for Penn.
Well, as you would expect, I think we'll see some changes on the part of Temple. First of all, as we saw in the first possession, defensively, they extended their defense as Lynn Greer trying to force the action, commit an offensive foul, and that's his third. But I look for them to extend their defense, try to be more aggressive, force some turnover. Now, their defense was not bad at all in the first half. Penn did not shoot the ball well, 38%. Here's Greer driving into traffic, trying to make it happen. But the half-court offense of Temple has been so poor that they've got to try to create some turnovers and get some transition baskets to make it a little bit easier for her. And then they took Lynn Greer off the ball at the offensive end to try to make him a scorer, feeder to the post, something they did very poorly in their first half.
Temple with some aggressive defensive work in the early going here, but a couple of fouls called against the Owls. This is Alex Westby getting hit with his first. And Penn will inbound front court baseline. Penn with a 15-point lead, but they have a lot of work ahead of them. You have the feeling that Temple's going to put together some kind of run. There's Dwayne King burying a 3 out of the left corner. And this Dwayne King, who has not played a lot this year for Penn, has come off the bench and scored 8 points.
Well, that left corner is a vulnerable spot against any kind of Temple zone defense. That's what killed them last week against DePaul as a freshman Cumont Greer in 2 huge threes coming down the stretch to pull off that 2-point win.
DePaul yesterday defeated number 10 in the nation, Missouri. You're kind of watching Temple lose to DePaul last week and think, wow, Temple's losing to the likes of DePaul, but maybe DePaul's not that bad. David Hawkins driving through the lane and getting the deuce. First field goal today for David Hawkins. 35-19. Wayne King does a good job to split the double. Left corner, here's Inyekwe. Klatsky. Tim Begley, right wing, 3. Got it.
Yeah, the defense is fast and furious. They're coming with some double teaming, some traps. But Penn doing the right thing, just moving the ball around the perimeter, reversing it from one side to the other. And no matter how aggressive the defense, it just can't catch up with the quick pass.
Niall Murray buries a 3. And it's 38-22. You see Temple showing full court pressure. David Klatsky, the point guard, comes across with a pass to Tim Begley. Now the right wing, Dwayne King. Oh, now he's starting to feel it. The confidence meter is pinning at the top, and Dwayne King has 11 points.
And again, nothing really happening for Penn's offense that time, except for the fact that the ball was on one side of the floor, and they quickly get it to the other side, and you're getting these wide open looks. Eventually, if this continues, and I'm going to be in very quick, short period of time, Temple's going to have to go to man-to-man defense.
Klatsky double teamed, and it's knocked away and stolen. Greer and Hawkins with the double, and then just a little bit of a bump from behind by Klatsky.
I knew that was coming. John Chaney up. Said, no, we don't want the call. Oh, they're going to call an intentional foul.
Okay.
And that's probably the right call, because it was intentional. But again, just a little slap on the wrist, if you will. But still, I think John Chaney, unless David Hawkins can make both of these free throws, and then they can do something with the possession. And I think the fans, they want to see open court basketball. They want to see some dunks. But the tentative ball handling on the part of David Klatsky leading to that turnover. This is not going to make John Chaney happy. Poor free throw shooting on the part of the Owls in the first half. 4 for 12 as Kevin Lai went 1 for 6. Oh boy.
Yeah, Hawkins had his career high against Penn last year. Hawkins was 9 for 13 from the field for Chaney's team last year against Pennsylvania. Career high 23. There's a look at Alex Westby as Temple sets up on offense. David Hawkins will trigger the inbounds play and passes in to Westby. The Quakers lead by 19 points. We are about 3 minutes into the second half. Hawkins out on the right side. This is a three, in and out. And the rebound in traffic by David Kratzky, who's what, 5'9", 5'10", and then he got fouled. I mean, he was in deep. That wasn't a long rebound out to the little point.
Well, he gets in that traffic all the time and digs out those rebounds. But what a possession for Temple. What was really almost a breakaway dunk taken away. 2 missed free throws, missed shot, and you pick up a team foul. Everything going wrong for the Temple House here this afternoon so far.
Yeah, that was not good, was it?
No. I think that's what John Chaney was worried about. We don't want intentional fouls. If we can get a layup, please give it to him.
Inyekwe fires a three off the iron. Good rebound by Archibald, kicks it out. Quakers reset, then the steal, the near steal, and then Hawkins does come away with it. Hawkins drives, dishes, Polk lays it up and in.
And that's what Temple can do with aggressive defense, forcing turnovers, getting their steals.
And Inyekwe the other way, flung it up, missed it badly, out of bounds. Last touch by Temple. That's 41-24, and this is the kind of mayhem that Temple looks to create that they'll need to get back in the game.
But I'm surprised, John, they don't start the game that way. Again, it gets the juices flowing. It gets you going defensively, where now you don't have to rely so much on your half-court offense, which has just been dismal.
Temple 3-7, trying to end a 5-game losing streak. Penn at 6-3. Hawkins drives, a collision in the lane, and they call this offensive foul on David Hawkins.
Out of control, as David Hawkins knows only one way to play, and that is full steam ahead. He can't seem to get his offense going, so he's doing the smart thing is in attacking the basket, but you have to do it by keeping your head up and not just barreling over people.
Temple fans disagreeing with the call, but it goes Penn's way. A 17-point Quaker lead. 15:45 left.
Here's the man-to-man defense on the part of Temple. Really the first time they've shown it this afternoon.
Now look at that. Penn goes right inside to Archibald, knocked away and stolen. Lynn Greer comes the other way. Hawkins pulls up. A three by Hawkins. Got it.
That's amazing, John. When you do good things defensively, you get aggressive, you get active, you force some misses, you force some steals. That's when your offense opens up, really.
Inyekwe back the other way, count the basket, and mark down a foul for Kevin Lai. And Penn comes back and attacks Temple.
And that's one of the big reasons, other than the fact that it's been the philosophy for 1,000 years for John Chaney and the effective zone. But again, with a guy like Kevin Lai trying to play a mobile, active guy like Ugonna Inyekwe in the open floor, it's a clear-cut mismatch.
Official timeout now, 15:21 left in the game. Inyekwe will have a chance for a three-point play when we come back.
Excuse me, I think the tube is stuck.
Okay, I'll be right there. Be right back. It's so cold out there.
Excuse me, I think the tube is stuck.
After every Eagles game, turn to Comcast Sportsnet to find out what happened on the sidelines. Hear what the players have to say and get Andy Reid's evaluation of the team's performance. Plus, statistics and game analysis by NFL experts. Join Comcast Sportsnet's Michael Marquette and Derek Gunn, along with former Eagle Von Hebron, former Mayor Ed Rendell, and Ray Dittinger from NFL Films for the best insight, analysis, and interviews on Tenet Health System presents Post Game Live after every Eagles game on Comcast Sportsnet.
Ed Rendell among the thousands on hand at Liacouras Center wearing his Penn colors, the dark blue and red. 15:21 left in the game. Quakers on top, 43-27. We've talked a lot about how Temple has struggled, but this is not a bad Penn Quaker team. 6-3. They've got a win at Georgia Tech this year. They've beaten Iowa State. Came darn near to beating Illinois in a tournament back in November. They've beaten Villanova. Now they're playing today without arguably their best, or one of their best players, the junior transfer Andrew Toole, who's recovering from surgery on his foot, but they are a good basketball.
Well, yeah, and Andy Toole is not their most talented player, but he is their floor leader and just makes things easier for everybody else. So Nekwe and Archibong do so much for the Penn Quakers. They're valuable players. And they had to come from behind to beat Villanova. We're clearly in the St. Joe game. That could have gone either way. They let one slip away against Davidson. Yeah, this is a good Penn ball club, but they also know that they need Andy Toole to be the best team that they can be. And of course, the key for them is trying to win the Ivy League Conference. There's Andy Toole, junior transfer from Elon College in Red Bank, New Jersey. And the reason he said he came to Penn is he wanted to play in the, first of all, wanted to play at the Palestra, and also wanted to play in the NCAA tournament. And it is a ticket, and you can win that Ivy League crown.
And Yekwe at the line, remember, got fouled by Kevin Lyde right before the timeout. The basket did count, the free throw no good. So 43-27, Quakers lead by 16. Temple playing without Ron Rollerson, their starting center. Here's a three by Lynn Greer and a foul. And Lynn Greer falling away out of the left corner will have a chance for a 4-point play.
You know, sometimes when you have a guy like Lynn Greer, who's so gifted, leading the country in scoring, or at least he was about a week ago. He's up amongst the leaders, but when he also has point guard responsibility, sometimes you're betwixt in between. Do I look for my own offense? Do I get the ball to so-and-so here? Do I get it to him there? But when you take him off the ball, a la Allen Iverson, and make him the two guard, and then let him be a scorer first, and then a playmaker later, much later.
Foul was called on Charlie Kopp. Greer makes the free throw, and just like that, it's a 12-point difference.
Season tickets. Call 215-463-5000.
Take a look at the City Series Big Five standings so far. LaSalle and Penn on top. LaSalle having beaten Villanova, Penn beating Villanova as well. St. Joseph's with yet to play an official City Series game. Then Villanova 1-2, and Temple 0-1, losing to Villanova in Big Five play. Coming up after this one this afternoon, on January 26th, the game you will see on Comcast Sportsnet, St. Joseph's at Penn. Just a couple of nights later, what they call the Holy War, St. Joe's at Villanova. And then the rest of the schedule, Penn, LaSalle, LaSalle, St. Joe's, Temple, LaSalle, and Temple at St. Joe's. A couple of those games on Comcast Sportsnet as well. Former Penn star Michael Jordan in the audience on hand this afternoon. Playing pro ball in Spain these days, but in town at the moment. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I guess when Michael Jordan was a senior, Penn played here at the Liacouras Center. Temple won 44-40.
A barn burner.
In a non-barn burner. And that's the way this game was looking in the first 10-12 minutes of the first half. But it has picked up. And what was a 19-point Penn lead is now a margin of a dozen. Temple's on a 9-2 run. And they've got a chance to run some more here. Lynn Greer on the move. Nice head fake against Klatsky. Steps up and dishes. Westby wasn't ready for it.
Temple once again going to their man-to-man defense at the other end, forcing the miss. And it seems to have given them an overall lift in their body language and in their legs.
Inside, David Hawkins, no. Rebound, Hawkins, yes. And a foul. David Hawkins going to work. Really got slugged by the ref.
Referee Joe DeMaio almost paid a heavy, heavy price as David Hawkins working extremely hard on the backboards, going up against the pressure first of Onyekwe, but staying with it. But in his jubilation of knocking that shot down, gave the fist pump and almost took the head of referee Joe DeMaio off, and Temple continues to struggle from the line.
Now the foul was on Ugonna Onyekwe, and that's 3 on Penn's Ugonna Onyekwe. All right, so the lead is down to 10 points. It's an 11-2 run for Temple. We said they'd have a run in them, and they're putting one together here. Klatsky dishes to Begley on the right side. Tim Begley finds his way in the lane. Adam Chubb in deep. Rebound tipped in by Onyekwe.
Good board work overall on the part of Penn today. We mentioned at the beginning of the game that they have really had their problems with rebounding. They're an undersized team. They give up about 14 offensive rebounds a game, and they struggle with their defensive rebounding. But overall, so far, it's been good today.
David Klatsky did a nice job anticipating the David Hawkins pass, knocked it out of bounds. Last touch by Klatsky. Dwayne King is back into the Penn lineup. There's number 2, Coco Archibong, back in as well. Ugonna Onyekwe and Tim Begley go out.
You can almost sense that Fran Dunphy feeling a little bit nervous with Onyekwe with 3 personal fouls. Does have the 12-point lead right now. Would probably like to buy as much time as possible to make sure that he's got Onyekwe for the stretch run, because he clearly senses the momentum in the favor of Temple right now.
Lynn Greer, 3, and a foul. Ho-ho! Another chance for a 4-point play.
Did I say something about momentum changing? But now that's the second time that Lynn Greer has been hit on his jump shot. Now you want to get out and challenge that. Now that's a tough cover for 6'9" Adam Chubb. And again, all his job there is, as a taller player against a quick guy like Greer, is do what he did. Keep him in front of him, go up, straight up, challenge the shot. You don't want to foul him on any kind of jump shot, let alone a 3.
45-37. And what was a dull, poorly played game in the first half is turning into a big 5-city series game now. Crowd coming to life. 13-20 left in the game. Jeff Schiffner with the ball here. He was hurt in the first half, back in now, and a foul called on Temple. Alex Westby called for his second personal foul.
Clearly the more aggressive defense by the Temple Owls, and they're mixing it up a little bit. That time they showed a little 3-quarter trap and then fell back into a matching up man-to-man. They're pulling out all the stops to get the rhythm of this game in their favor, and they've done it.
Adam Chubb, offensive rebound. The putback try, no good. Rebound Chubb, follow, no good. Rebound Archibong. He put it off the bottom of the rim, but a foul. And for a Quaker team that has not been a good rebounding team, they're going to the glass.
Well, first of all, Kevin Lyon, who takes up so much space in there, it really does not have a lot of lift or explosiveness around the basket. He's trying to box out, which is the right thing to do, but you got to box out and then you got to go for the ball. He's just not getting up in the air. And Adam Chubb, a high jumper, and Coco Archibong, very athletic in and around the basket. So well, size is one thing as far as rebounding, but quickness will take you a long way as well. I guess we can look to Dennis Rodman. Fabulous rebounder for many, many years. Undersized, but just quick, active, anticipates very well.
Archibong missing both. He's been a good free throw shooter this year.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman could wake up now, join any team in the league, and go out and average 12 rebounds a game. I wouldn't want to see it, but it could happen.
And then late that same night, never mind. Lynn Greer making a move, got bumped by Jeff Schiffner here. And for Jeff Schiffner, personal foul number 2. I guess you never had the pleasure of coaching Mr. Rodman.
I was asked a couple of times if I would want to trade some players to acquire them.
And your answer?
No.
No.
In a word, no.
Lynn Greer on a 3. Around and out. Rebound Archibong. Both teams going with 3 guard looks for Penn. It's Klatsky, King, and Schiffner. Archibong drives, gets inside, shot blocked, but a foul. Oh, he saw just a little bit of daylight, and boy, did he accelerate to the rim.
And that's the wise thing to do right now, because Penn has definitely been back on their heels. Have become tentative at their half-court offense because of Temple's aggressiveness. So Archibong now a junior, and along with Onyekwe, Andy Toole not in uniform. These are David Klatsky. These are the leaders of this team, and they have to lead by example, if nothing else. And and not be laid back out there. Attack the basket when they get the opportunity. Take the open shot when it shows up.
Archibong has missed 3 and now 4 consecutive free throws. Came into the game shooting 79% from the foul line, but he's been 0 for his last 4, and it remains an 8-point Penn lead. Quakers were ahead by 19. They lead here by 8. Coming up on the 12-minute mark. David Hawkins out on the left side. He drives strong, fakes nicely, shoots in traffic, missed it. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be blue ball.
Excellent team defense on the part of Penn, knowing that now Lynn Greer has got it going. He came out way out on the floor to double team him, get the ball out of his basket, out of his hands, and make the other Temple players do something. And then excellent coverage by Coco Archibong, challenging that shot by David Hawkins and not fouling him.
Klatsky, King, and Schiffner, the 3 guards. Adam Chubb and Coco Archibong on the Penn front line. Here's Adam Chubb, right baseline to Schiffner, right of the circle. King at the top, fakes, drives, lane, scoop. A pretty move and a foul on the way in. Niall Murray gets called for the foul, his 3rd. And Dwayne King will go to the line. Dwayne King will go to the line for 1-and-1. A guy who arrived at Penn amid some fanfare, somebody who was recruited by a number of Division I schools, including Florida State out of the ACC, some other big-name programs. Did not play particularly impressively in his first couple of seasons, but has looked good this afternoon. Misses the free throw here. King with 11 points, which is a career high, but missing the free throw. Lynn Greer, right baseline, too hard. Weak side rebound, ripped down by Archibong. Schiffner on the move for the Quakers, and the lead's by 8. We've got 11.5 remaining in the game. An open, Dwayne King fires way off. Rebound tip way to the outside. Schiffner saved it into the hands of Klatsky.
Well, that was such a bad shot that nobody really had a good crack at a rebound there. To bang somebody on the shoulder, I think. Adam Chubb.
Klatsky 3, rim, rebound taken inside by Hawley Smith. 6'5" freshman forward who's come on. Well, the level of play has gone up dramatically here in the second half. An open, Hawley Smith, 3, side of the wrist. Rebound, slam, done! David Hawkins.
Well, you could see that one coming as the ball was swung for Temple. The seas opened up as Penn's defense had a whole bunch of holes right in the middle. And David Hawkins taking care of business way above the crowd.
It is a 6-point game. And the Quakers want to talk things over. Timeout. 10:44 remaining. The 19-point Quaker lead is down to 6.
Also, you're talking about Penn's offense in the first half. When they would swing it, they were getting these kinds of open looks. Of course, everybody is trying to recover defensively, and nobody even coming close to getting a body on David Hawkins. I think it was Jeff Schiffner who had him momentarily and then lost him. David Hawkins has struggled in other parts of the game, but not on that particular play. But Fran Dunphy just trying to stop the bleeding right now as he really feeling the footsteps of Temple coming on strong.
Quakers, meantime, have hurt themselves at the foul line. They are 0 for 6 from the free throw stripe in the second half, and that's left Fran Dunphy scratching his head.
Fran Dunphy's got Ogana Onyekwe resting on the bench right now. Not so much resting, but trying to protect him with those 3 personal fouls. It's time and score will determine when he gets back in the game.
Adam Chubb up at a high post. Klatsky. Junior point guard David Klatsky, watched by Niall Murray. Makes a move. Klatsky goes inside. This is Begley. Good pass to Chubb at the foul line. Tries to step up. Whistle. And a foul against Temple. Now, if that's on Lyde, that would be 3.
I was going to say good defense on the part of Kevin Lyde because he kept Chubb from going around him. And the reason he kept him from going around him is he had a good grab onto him. Once again, a speed matchup problem for Kevin Lyde. Guys like Chubb, Onyekwe, Archibong just too quick for him when they've got some space to move with 1 or 2 dribbles.
That's 10 team fouls already on Temple in the second half. Double bonus, and Chubb will get 2 foul shots, and he missed the first. So Penn is now 0 for 7 at the foul line.
Yeah, John Chaney can certainly live with the foul problems that the Owls have right now. The reason for the foul problems is they have picked up the defensive intensity dramatically.
Kevin lied with 3 personals. And the second free throw is good. So Chubb gets 1 for 2. It's 46-39. And we've got another official timeout. All right, 10:22 left in the game. Pennsylvania 46, Temple 39.
If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident or need any legal help, the only phone number you need to remember is 1-888-DIAL-LAW. You may be entitled to a large settlement.
Hi, I'm Bob Rovner, an attorney for 30 years. I was there for you as your state senator, and I fought for justice as assistant district attorney with Arlen Specter. Call us now at Dial Law, because at Rovner, Allen, Rovner, and Zimmerman, we get results.
Listen to Senator Bob Rovner Talks to the Stars. For legal help, call 1-888-DIAL-LAW.
The following is a public service announcement from CN8 Newsmakers.
During this holiday season, let us all renew our dedication to commitment with perseverance, strength with compassion, and to peace with justice. Our nation and our people will bear these difficult times with dignity and courage, for we truly are the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This has been a public service announcement from CN8 Newsmakers.
When Temple and Penn together, you're not only talking about 2 neighborhood Big 5 rivals, you're talking about 2 of the all-time college basketball programs in NCAA history. These are schools that have had great winning programs and have been around a long time, but Temple 6th in all-time wins in college basketball, Penn 8th on the list, and these 2 schools in some pretty good company on that chart.
Yeah, that's the big thing about it. Obviously, Temple and Penn, because they've been around for a long time and have had terrific coaching and great players walk through their doors, but also those other schools have done it as well. So it is just nice to be with that group.
Look at this. Temple already has more points in the second half with 10:22 to go than they had in the entire first half.
Well, their offense was non-compass menace in the first half, and then when you consider Lynn Greer spent 5 minutes on the bench at the end of the first half. David Hawkins was on the bench with a couple of fouls, and Kevin Lyde, who only took 1 shot and then hurt himself at the free throw line. The 3 best offensive players couldn't get anything going.
Temple at the moment on a 17-5 run, and what was a 19-point lead, we said a couple of times, at the moment is a 7-point margin. Owls on the attack. The double team here, Schiffner and Klatsky on Lynn Greer. Temple swings it around to Niall Murray now, 9 on the shot clock. Here's Hawkins trying to find an opening. Fakes, leans in, rolls it off the rim. And then out of bounds, last touch by Temple. Or was it? Last touch by Temple, yes.
And not a good possession at all on the part of Temple. Greer's going to get double teamed when he touches the ball out on the perimeter just to get the ball out of his hands. What he has to do is just stop standing around. He's got to get on the move. Get down on the baseline, run off screens, and this is not going to be a popular call here, as it looked like Lynn Greer was there in plenty of time. That's 4 fouls on Greer, I think.
4 fouls on Lynn Greer.
You know, on further review, he was sliding a bit.
And you know what? Not in any case, probably not the kind of risk you want to take defensively when you've got 3 personals.
No, but Lynn Greer has such a placid demeanor, never shows any emotion, and he's not a kind of guy that's going to go out there and try to show up or trick referees. But mainly, you're so used to seeing Lynn Greer and the Temple Owls play zone, where you're kind of standing around. They can extend that and play aggressive defense. So for him in a man-to-man situation, officials aren't used to seeing that. But that was clearly a flop.
Archibong makes a couple of free throws. He had missed 4 in a row earlier. Nails a couple here, and it's 48-39. So for the moment, Penn has stopped the bleeding. 9.5 remaining in the game, and Temple gets a 30-second timeout. 9:29 left. Temple putting together the big run, and for the moment, Temple has slowed it down, but John Chaney wants to talk with the Zebras as much as with its own players right here.
At the last timeout, John had a long discussion with one of the other referees and didn't seem to get satisfied. Now he's talking to Joe DeMayo, and you can read his lips saying that is wrong, and what John is doing there is coming to the defense of his floor leader and star player, Lynn Greer. He didn't like that call. But I think when John takes a look at it on tape, he still won't like it, but it was the correct call.
In the 20 years that John Chaney has been coaching at Temple, the not only the referees, but the other schools in the Big Five have paid the price as he has gone 79-23, including 19-1. John Chaney's teams have gone 19-1 against the Penn Quakers.
You know, another thing, John Chaney's trying to buy the next call, too. He can't afford to lose Lynn Greer, so if there's another little collision or a little thing involved with Lynn Greer, he wants to hope and hopes that he put the message in the ear of the officials that he does not want it called on his guy.
Penn playing man-to-man defense, although double-teaming Greer on many occasions. Westby drives, contact in the lane, no basket, but Westby clearly got fouled on the way in, and Alex Westby will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Well, Temple can get pretty much anything they want offensively right now with Lynn Greer definitely being a threat offensively. He's going to draw a double team just by touching the ball out on the perimeter. So he can take that those two defenders out pretty far with him. And that'll leave a 4-on-3 situation and lots of space to operate.
Adam Chubb was called on the foul, his third. Alex Westby with just 4 points this afternoon, and now 5 as he gets 1 for 2. 48-40. Sophomore guard Jeff Schiffner. Ball knocked away by Westby and stolen. Westby drives and lays it up. No good. Rebound Hawkins. He goes up. That counts. And a foul. So Westby missed all alone. And then Hawkins made it worthwhile by getting the bucket and drawing the foul.
That was a fabulous defensive effort on the part of Alex Westby to come up with that steal. Taking the ball away from Jeff Schiffner, making sure he got his head down on the dribble. I think he kind of lost the feel from where he was on the floor. Had visions of probably trying to dunk it, but with the air ball right into the hands of David Hawkins, who will try to complete the three-point play. But free throw shooting has been a big-time adventure for both teams.
And continues to be. Oh, ball nearly rolled out of bounds, but Inyekwe saved it in. Hawkins with 1 point in the first half and 11 more points so far in the second half, 12 total. And what's the call here? Foul on Temple.
Well, who was Tim Begley throwing to? There was absolutely nobody in that left corner. And unless that foul made the ball go that way, but I think he was trying to throw the ball in the left corner. There's some fans. There's some fan. Oh, I see. The ball is trying to go inside to Adam Chubb, but a terrible passing angle there and bailed out on the foul call.
Kevin Lyde with 4 personals, so Lyde has 4 and Lynn Greer has 4. Also, Greg Jefferson has 4 for Temple. And Adam Chubb at the line for 2 free throws. Double bonus in effect here. And Chubb gets 2 with 8:43 left in the game. Chubb rainbows in the first.
A rare clean free throw. That may be the best defensive play that either team could make right now. It's just foul somebody.
Foul again. Chubb with a 6-point performance today. And now 7.
And Ogana Onyekwe back in with those 3 personal fouls. Fran Dunphy went about as long as he could with things starting to slip away. Has to get him in there, and there's plenty of time left. 8.5 minutes to go.
And a steal by Klatsky. Good anticipation. Klatsky comes into the front court, then passes off the hands of Chubb, diving for it. He grabs the basketball, and they're going to say jump ball. And the possession arrow takes it Temple's way. Jump ball is the call. He wanted to call timeout, but it's a jump ball, and the possession arrow gives it to the Temple Owls.
This is not in the playbook as far as how to run a fast break. Of course, Klatsky kind of pinned to the sideline there, trying to corral his dribble. Actually was a 4-on-2 break, but the worst possible guy to throw the ball to out around the free throw line area was Adam Chubb, and that's who he tried to complete the pass to.
Penn going with a bigger lineup than Fran Dunphy has used up until now. He's really got a standard center and 2 forwards and the normal 2 guards. can play 3 guards most of the way. Off the hands of Greg Jefferson, and John Chaney and company have another turnover.
Just clearly taking his eye off the ball in his haste to catch and try to finish before the defense could recover. So we've seen some shaky ball handling by both teams here today.
Temple with its normal full game allotment already of 10 turns.
And both teams rely heavily on taking care of the basketball because they have so many flaws in different areas that's a critical part of any kind of success that they're going to have. Keep the turnovers down.
Traveling violation. But officials checked each other, and the call is a walk. And the call is a walk. John Gurvich, Matt Gukas at Leocor's center. That, by the way, is not a shirt. That is paint on body. Penn 50, Temple 42, 7:41 left in the second half. Temple's got some foul issues to deal with.
And something you normally don't see from a Temple team, largely due to the fact that they play so much zone defense that you're protected in that area. But 2 key players there, Kevin Lyde and Lynn Greer, on the brink. But their defense has clearly been the story of this second half, and how they have picked it up and have gone to man-to-man for much of the time, and some double teaming, forced some turnovers, and have gotten a lot more easy basket opportunities instead of trying to play half-court basketball. And Lynn Greer has gotten it going.
At intermission, Penn led by 15 points. It was 32-17. Early in the second half, Penn quickly got that lead up to 19 points. Temple whittled that down to as little as 6. Now the difference is 8 points, and Temple has the basketball. Lynn Greer, Niall Murray, and David Hawkins form the 3-guard backcourt. And then the front line, 1 forward is Alex Westby, and the center is Kevin Lyde. Ron Rollerson not available today because of a strained groin out of the Temple starting lineup. Penn going without starting point guard Andrew Toole, who's recovering from foot surgery. All right, here's Niall Murray just beyond the foul line, sticks it in.
Nice move by the freshman there, the escape dribble, get the open shot. And that ball gets out of the hands of Lynn Greer. If you're John Chaney and Nate Blackwell, Dan Leibowitz, your heart's in your throat a little bit, because you really don't know what some of the players on Temple are going to do. They expect them to make good decisions, take the open jump shot when it's there, or dump the ball inside to Kevin Lyde. And this has been Temple in their defense is David Hawkins. Lynn Greer, and he's out. He's gone.
And he might be hurt as well.
Yeah, it was Coco Archibong. He got hit on the coconut up on the head there. I don't know where Lynn Greer took it, but he's shaken up.
Well, the defense really tightening up for John Chaney's team in the second half, and David Hawkins with an aggressive defensive play, and now Lynn Greer with an aggressive defensive play, and the crowd very much quieting down. Lynn Greer has fouled out, which is obviously important in terms of the game, but he's also shaken up, which is important beyond that. So the crowd gets hushed somewhat. About half the crowd can't really see what's going on, as Lynn Greer is right in front of the scorer's table on one side. And he had suffered an eye injury, if you remember, a couple of years ago. He had suffered an injury to the orbital around the eye. I wonder if that's what they're particularly concerned about here.
Yeah,
he keeps holding his head.
He cracked heads with Coco Archibong. And really not a good defensive decision on the part of Lynn Greer, taking into consideration that he had 4 fouls, trying to go for that steal. You can still be aggressive, but once again, when you play so little man-to-man defense, a lot of times you don't know how to react when you're in this come-from-behind mode, playing with so much desperation. An eternity to go in this game, 7 minutes, but I think Temple has already learned something about themselves as a basketball team. They struggle mightily in the half court. They know they can ratchet up the defense with some man-to-man and some aggressiveness, and take that pressure off by forcing those kinds of turnovers and getting some fast break baskets. But still a lot left today.
They're going to learn a couple more things about their basketball team in these last 7 minutes or so, namely what they can do without Lynn Greer.
Well, Lynn Greer, and now there's nobody on the Temple floor other than Kevin Lyde inside that will command a double team. So So Penn now is pretty much in a man-to-man situation. All they'd be thinking about is keeping a man in front of them and hands up on the jump shot. This could cause the problem, however.
Lied in the post, swings it out to Westby. Shot clock's at 10 seconds. Westby a driving runner. Alex Westby banked it in.
And he'll be called on to pick it up offensively as he created something out of nothing there.
Well, you've got Westby and, of course, David Hawkins, who can do that. 52-46. Inyekwe backing in.
But, John, it's a lot easier to do it when the defense is broken down because of a double team. Now, everybody can stay at home with their own man.
Temple forces the turnover. Owls could move to within 4. Hawkins accelerates right side of the lane. Floater, no. Rebound off the deck, a scramble, and it walks into the hands of Alex Westby. Now a driving Brian Polk to Murray inside, twister. Rebound, Tim Begley. Good basketball at the Leocori Center. Temple could not finish. The quality of play has ratcheted up considerably. Three-point bomb in Inyekwe. And then a foul going for the rebound. Lied and Chubb got tangled up. And a foul.
Yeah, I'm looking over at Fran Dunphy. He wanted Inyekwe to make one more extra pass to the corner. I don't think he ever wants to say to his players, hey, don't take the open three-point shot. They're going to live and die with that all season long. But again, very early in the shot clock there to launch a three at about the 6-minute mark when you're nursing a 6-point lead. Now, that doesn't mean you become tentative, but your shot selection the rest of the way has to be, well, selective.
Adam Chubb with 4 fouls, as it's Chubb who gets called. He is out. Schiffner's back in. Kevin Lied for 1 and 1. He is a subpar free throw shooter, and the front end here is no good. Lied for the year shooting below 50% from the line, and Penn comes the other way. There's an open Schiffner, gets the look for 3, got it. Wide open off the sort of semi-fast break.
Yeah, the weak side wingman in Temple's zone, or man-to-man, whatever it may be, is responsible to go cover that skip pass, and that's what's hurt Temple throughout this early part of the season. Hawkins trying to force the foul.
No offensive foul called. Hawkins missing, and Schiffner comes the other way. Coming up on the 5-minute mark. Lynn Greer on the Temple bench. He has fouled out. A 9-point Pennsylvania lead, and now we have a foul on Alex Westby. Or a jump ball. Jump ball is the call, and possession arrow takes it Penn's way. So Penn gets possession, but the arrow switches back to Temple's direction.
And what Penn's got to be thinking here is let's run our man-to-man offense. You know, let's not turn away any easy shots, but ball movement is key.
Inyekwe steps up for a 10-footer. Murray snaps down the rebound.
Yeah, just a moment of hesitation there on the part of Inyekwe. You know, a terrible thing happens when players start to think out there and not react, and this is where you're really missing Andy Toole.
Good move inside by Niall Murray. And it's a 6-point difference, a 7-point difference again. Now a foul called here as Schiffner and Westby came together. What's going against Jeff Schiffner?
Wow, it looked like both players going for the loose ball there, like a wide receiver and a free safety.
It is a foul on Jeff Schiffner, his 3rd, and a 1-and-1 the other way for Alex Westby. .439 left in the game. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout now. 4:30
to win the regular season very well in the tournament, or win the tournament again to get back to the NCAAs, where they're always a tough out.
Not an easy ticket to get there.
No.
Klatsky into the front court, and a 10-second violation as he got there late. And Fran Dunphy realizes he got there late just by a split second. 4:29 remaining. Penn's 12th turnover.
And, you know, Fran Dunphy's kind of thinking back a little deja vu to the Davidson game, because it only takes a couple of miscues like that, a couple of mistakes where you could have eaten up 20, 25 more seconds on the clock that cost you a game.
Alex Westby taking it to the rack. See, sometimes when your top scorer, when your star player goes out, it's an opportunity for the other players to step up. 55-50. This is the closest Temple has been since middle of the first half. Archibong takes it inside, and again the officials blowing the whistle. And this will get Penn back to the line. Alex Westby called for his third. And a 2-shot free throw set coming up for the Quakers. For Coco Archibong.
Coco shooting the free throw very well this year at 79%. Struggling a bit today. You know, and the other that Penn could go to in the half court is with Ugonna Onyekwe being guarded by Kevin Lye. Now, he had the ball out at the top of the key area that last time, but it didn't look like he was trying to take Lye off the dribble, but get him out on the wing, which would at least have Temple have to react to that and possibly give double team help.
Archibong comes in and makes both free throws. So Temple's been coming back, but Penn's been holding them off for the moment. 3:55 left, official timeout. 7 points separate the pack to his head to the left. 7 points separate the pack to his head to the left side of his head. Got banged up in a collision in which he committed his 5th foul. And now other guys trying to step up for Temple.
There's a freshman, Niall Murray, getting in and around the basket. Of course, you know, David Hawkins, anytime he touches the ball, he's going to be aggressive. Alex Westby is capable of putting points on the board. So another offensive game. Just 10 points against DePaul last Saturday. And nasty bump on the side of the head of Lynn Greer.
Last Saturday against DePaul, Greer was held to 10 points. Only 13 this afternoon. I mean, teams are focusing their defense quite obviously on stopping him.
But last Saturday, Lynn Greer did have 8 assists, no turnovers. So he's not very big in the assist department today. And somebody told you Kevin Lye was only going to have 1 shot attempt, and that was a follow-up in the early in the first half. Now, he has gone to the free throw line, which has not been a good deal for him. Just 1 for 7. But he has not worked to get good position, and the Temple Owls have not done nearly a good enough job of getting him the ball where he could do some damage.
Less than 4 minutes remaining, and a quick whistle, ball inbounded, and then an instant foul called on David Klatsky. And a lot of calls going against both teams here in the last several minutes have slowed down the pace. David Klatsky has 4 fouls, and that's a big development for Pennsylvania.
And David Klatsky is one player that, even though he has not started the last few, he's a key guy coming off the bench, and Fran Dunphy relies on him to be a good decision maker, knock down the 3-point shot, and certainly not commit a foul as the ball's inbounded. It's the last thing you want to do. Look at the free throw shooting for Temple today. My word.
And their foul shooting for the year hasn't been great. This is a 2-shot set. The last foul on Klatsky, his 4th personal, and team foul number 10. So the double bonus in effect for both teams now. Murray's 2nd free throw. He gets both. And it's 57-52. Coco Archibong in the backcourt. Not a great ball handler. Gives it up against the double team, and then Onyekwe takes it across the line. Begley passing to Archibong, driving runner off the side of the rim, but a foul. And Archibong will go back to the line for 2 more free throws. Archibong so much more aggressive, playing with so much more confidence than we saw last year.
Well, not very aggressive attack of getting that ball out of the backcourt. And I realize at this point in the game, and you're nursing a little lead, you're thinking about using up clock, but against that kind of a trap, you have to be aggressive, because if you get the ball into the middle after you get it swung, and now Kevin Lye fouling out along with Lynn Greer, who was fouled out with a disappointing 3 points, as his strength never really utilized here today. But if you get the ball in the middle against a trapping defense or swing it to the other side, you can be aggressive in taking the ball to the basket.
Archibong, 2 foul shots. First is good. Penn missed a flurry of free throws earlier in this half. They missed, what, 6 in a row. But they're starting to make them more frequently and more regularly here. And Archibong gets 1 for 2 this time. 15 points for Coco Archibong, and that actually leads all scorers tonight for both teams. 58-52. The game still very much up in the air. Outcome still very much in question. 6-point difference with 3.5 left. Greg Jefferson, who's come in, beats David Hawkins on the right side. Hawkins leaning in. No foul called. Hawkins gets it back. And the rebound out of bounds, last touch by Temple.
David Hawkins can't believe that a foul was not called, but he has done that on 2 or 3 occasions today with the up fake, trying to get that defender off balance, which he's done, and then he jumps into the defender. And at least for today, the officials are not going to give him a call. Now, technical foul.
They gave him a call there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Cheney or Hawkins. See, you might have a little bit of boy who cried wolf there, because he's been leaning and trying to cheat to get
That's
that
what
call.
I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. They've seen him try to do that and beg for the call. Now, you know, an established offensive player, David Hawkins, just a sophomore. Officials not all that used to seeing him, but he's clearly jumping into the defender and using space that he's not necessarily entitled to. Now, an established offensive player will generally get the benefit of the doubt on that call.
You know, if I've got this right, the technical foul has been officially charged to John Cheney, but we're told that the Temple mascot came out on the floor. Could we have had
not the mascot.
A technical on Cheney and a technical? We've got a technical on John Cheney.
So that's 4 free throws?
Let's see how I believe it should be 4 free throws.
Why can't you just throw the mascot out?
Well,
that's not called a technical foul. You know, in a close game like this, that's a little over the top.
Well,
unless there's some specific rule that we're not aware of. A mascot rule.
Indeed, that they have called a technical on John Cheney and a technical foul on the Temple Owl mascot. And so 2 free throws for each technical. And Jeff Schiffner makes 3 for 4 from the line. And what a swing that is. Wow. Penn will wind up with the basketball. Here's the call.
David Hawkins likes to use that up fake. Ogana Onyekwe doing a good one-on-one job defensively. Now, Onyekwe, not necessarily, you know, David Hawkins has a pretty good gripe there, except for the point you made, John, that he has done it 2 or 3 times before, because Onyekwe was clearly out of control there, leaning forward. But because David Hawkins has leaned in a couple times, didn't give it to him.
So all of a sudden, a 9-point lead. Westby flinging up a 3, got the ball back. What a swing that is, because if Hawkins gets the call he wants, he's going to the line for 3 foul shots, and instead it comes the other way for 4 free throws.
I'll go back earlier in the half when David Hawkins had the breakaway dunk, which was good. They took that away from him, gave him the intentional foul, so they took away the 2, and then they missed the 2 free throws and didn't score on the possession.
Hawkins gets it inside here and rolls it home. Quakers still not out of the woods yet. 61-54. 2.5 minutes remaining. A 7-point Quaker lead. Penn has led just about all the way by as much as 19. Temple has been as close as 5. And Penn leads here by 7.
And Adam Chubb, the only shaky free throw shooter on the floor for Penn at this point.
Schiffner out in the right corner. And a tackling violation. Now, there's no such thing as a makeup call, of course.
No. But no real complaint there from Jeff Schiffner or Fran Dunphy. I think Fran Dunphy just happy that they used so much of the shot clock, didn't commit a turnover or miss a shot so wildly that it turned into a quick basket the other way.
We're crossing the
small victory.
Small victory indeed. Getting ready to cross the 2-minute mark. Now we have a 30-second timeout taken with 2:02 remaining. Turnovers, you saw Temple with 7 turns in the first half. Second half so far, Penn 10 turnovers, and Temple with only 4.
And those 10 turnovers, many of them, John, were the kind because of the defense pressuring so high out on the floor, some trapping, getting some steals. They turn into momentum changers where you get either a fast break, layup at the other end, and in one case we talked about where you had the fast break that was taken away. Those are the turnovers that are just unacceptable. The ones where you throw the ball out of bounds or you walk with it or you do something down on the baseline, at least you can recover defensively where you have not given up something easy.
Timeouts remaining. Pennsylvania has 2 timeouts left, 1 30-second timeout and 1 full timeout. And Temple has just 1 timeout remaining, and that's a full. All right, 2:02 left. Quakers lead the Owls 61-54. Big 5 City Series basketball. A 7-point Penn lead. Lynn Greer on the Temple bench. He has fouled out. Kevin Lyde on the Temple bench. He has fouled out. Owls working around. And they're using up a lot of time that they can't afford. They're killing the clock. Brian Polk, 3, side of the rim. O-board, Westby fights his way and gets fouled. It came before the bucket, so no basket, and Westby will go to the line. It's another small victory for Fran Duffy.
I'm a little surprised. Now, that is part of Temple's man-to-man offense, where they run that double high pick and guys roll off it. Usually Lynn Greer's involved, but Temple's best chance at this point to come from behind, unless they can do something at the free throw line, is spread the floor as much as possible and let guys like Hawkins and Murray and Westby just drive into the lane, see if they can't get all the way to the basket, possibly get a three-point play, or draw and kick to an open shooter on the outside.
Foul on Nyekwe, his 4th. Westby makes both. He's got 11. And if you're Pennsylvania, you've been in control, but you've got to be concerned. Your margin's been trimmed down to 5, and still a minute 30 left. And Penn really needs not only to use up some clock here, but to put some points on the board again.
And not turn the ball over out in this area of the floor. They've got all good free throw shooters out there right now.
Klatsky beyond the arc. Klatsky driving to the baseline. Now Archibong pass knocked away, recovered. Tim Begley inside. Archibong open layup is good. Begley made the pass.
Yeah, the freshman Tim Begley looked left and passed right down the gut of the defense. So Penn got all they wanted on that possession, used up a ton of clock, and got a lay-in.
Alex Westby driving through the lane and will go to the line. As they say, Westby got fouled. 54 seconds left. Yeah, that was a big possession for the Quakers this last one.
And that's what Temple should be doing, what they did on this particular sequence, getting the ball into one of their athletic guys with the floor spread and just go, because Penn does not want to commit a foul at this point unless they're absolutely forced by the offense leaning in. So they're probably going to give you a layup.
54 seconds. Hawkins nearly had the steal. Now, again, as much as Penn has controlled most of the action, they have very little margin for error. 5-point lead, 54 seconds left.
Almost did not get that in. Coco Archibong aware that he could not run the baseline there. As it was a ball knocked out of bounds. You can only run the baseline after a score.
Klatsky's pass to Archibong is accompanied by a whistle. Alex Westby with his 4th. And with the double bonus in effect, a pair of free throws coming up for Coco Archibong. He has been the man for Pennsylvania for the night. 17 points. And he's made a flurry of free throws down the stretch.
He got off to a terrific start, knocked down his first 2 middle distance jump shots, got an offensive rebound and a lay-in as he was off and running, as he was able to get inside the Temple zone. The forlorn looks of the Temple Owls, sensing they are going down to their 6th straight loss.
Archibong gets both. He makes 2 for 2, and now we're down to 42 seconds left, and the difference is still 7 points. It's been going back between 5 points and 7. Penn leads 65-58, a 7-point margin, and a full timeout, a 30-second timeout taken. A 30-second timeout taken here by Penn, so each team now with 1 full timeout remaining.
And Temple's best three-point shooter, Lynn Greer, has fouled out of this game. Niall Murray can knock one down from time to time. David Hawkins is not shooting a particularly good percentage, but again, spread the floor, look to drive, get all the way to the basket, hope that Penn maybe fouls you on it, gives you a three-point play opportunity there, or kick it out to a three-point shooter, steal or foul at the other end, try to elongate the game as much as possible. Try to pull off a miracle here.
We're revved up for more college basketball tomorrow night. This should be a good one. Tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Matt and I will be at the sold-out St. Joe's Fieldhouse as Gonzaga comes in from Spokane, Washington for Gonzaga against St. Joseph's. Tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. All right, Niall Murray up in the front court on the left side. 30 seconds left. Murray against Klatsky. Murray gets in. Klatsky does a nice job, knocks it away out of bounds.
Excellent defense by David Klatsky, just moving his feet, keeping in front of Niall Murray, trying to penetrate, and got away with the reach in the strip.
26 seconds, as you see in the lower right corner. Temple inbounding in the front court and cannot find anybody, and they burn their last timeout, which is obviously not something they want to do in that situation.
Just the execution not up to par there. Everybody kind of just dancing around instead of really setting a good screen and making a hard cut to receive the ball. They left Nile Murray hung out to dry.
26 seconds left, 65-58. Individually, Coco Archibong has led Penn with 19 points. Dwayne King came off their bench and scored a career-high 11. On the Temple side, David Hawkins with 14, Alex Westby with 13 points, and Lynn Greer with 13 points in career, and Kevin Lyde have fouled out.
Such a big factor for Penn today is keeping Ogana Onyekwe out of foul trouble. And you figured if Ron Rollerson, who was unable to play in this game, or Kevin Lyde were able to get the ball, be active around the basket, get offensive rebounds, that Onyekwe and Archibong would be in a lot of trouble as far as fouls were concerned. But Temple never really got that going offensively.
President of the Philadelphia Phillies and proud Penn alumnus, David Montgomery, who is at nearly all of the Penn games at the Palestra and some of the, quote-unquote road games here as well.
We saw Ed Rundell, now Dave Montgomery with sad looks on their face. They should be. This will be a very big win for Penn,
because it ain't over yet.
No, well, that's maybe they know. Maybe they were probably at the Davidson game and saw Penn manage to lose that one in overtime.
26 seconds remaining. All right, off the timeout. Temple inbounds, and the Owls with very little margin for error now. David Hawkins with an air ball 3 try. Westby with the follow, and Alex Westby has come to life since Greer fouled out. He's got 15. Again, a 5-point difference. Here's a steal by Hawkins and a foul by Archibong. So still 20 seconds left, and look at this. Just a 5-point lead. The clock is saying Temple gets a chance to put points on without taking time off the clock. And still 20 seconds remaining.
Well, I keep looking over at the coaches to see that there again, just a little thing, just a tiny little thing there. The pass was sharp enough, but it wasn't into the body of Coco Archibong. It was off to the side where, while he was on the move, unable to control it. And these are huge free throws for David Hawkins and Temple.
They are back to within 4. It's been a strange game. It's been a game that really hasn't had a real specific character.
And now the one-possession game, 3-point deficit, so the aggressive defense, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then the foul.
Schiffner gets fouled, grabbed along the shirt by Greg Jefferson. That's going to be 5 on Greg Jefferson. And perhaps more importantly, will send Jeff Schiffner to the line for 2 free throws.
Schiffner coming into this game 10 for 13 from the line, so he has not been there often. Many of the Penn players don't get there because they stand out at that 3-point line. Temple is out of timeouts.
Pennsylvania just 1-19 against Temple teams in John Chaney's tenure as the Temple coach. They beat a very highly ranked Temple team 3 years ago at the Palestra. Here's Schiffner at the line, misses the first. It's got to make one here, or Temple has a chance to tie with 1 shot. Look at this. 16 seconds left. Schiffner makes the second, rattling it home.
And Temple doesn't necessarily have to launch a 3 here. They should just try to go to the basket as quickly as possible.
Hawkins fakes the 3. Line drives the shot, round and out. Rebound Hawkins in traffic. Takes it out, just 5 seconds left now. Hawkins misses. Rebound Onyekwe. 1 second left. And finally, David Montgomery and Ed Rundell and the rest of those Penn Quakers fans could wipe the frown off their face, because Pennsylvania is on its way to defeating Temple University.
It is so hard to win a basketball game. No matter what happens, invariably these things come down like this, where crazy things happen in the last couple of minutes of play.
Take a look at the only other time in the John Chaney era Penn has defeated Temple, and they did it in dramatic fashion. A late driving bucket by Matt Langle, and then a very young Lynn Greer with a chance at the buzzer that went awry. But other than that, it has been all Temple since John Chaney has been the coach. And both free throws in the meantime made by Onyekwe. A 6-point lead, and the horn sounds, and Penn has defeated Temple. And not only that, but coupled with their win over Villanova a couple of weeks ago, make this the first time in more than 25 years that a Penn team has beaten Villanova and Temple in the same season.
Well, Penn coming into this game, having lost their last two because of not having Andy Toole, I think Fran Dunphy was a little concerned, especially Temple coming off a 5-game losing streak. I think he expected the aggressive defense that he saw from Temple in the second half. I think he expected that at the beginning of the game, and it really wasn't there.
We're going to take a short break and come back and talk a little bit about what this means for Penn going forward and what it means for Temple. The Quakers have won. We'll be back in a moment. Of course, center the final score. Quakers 68, Temple Owls 62. Sluggish first half. Penn breaking out to a big lead early in the second half, up by 19. And the rest of the game was Temple climbing back in, but never able to get over the top. And a big bucket just down the stretch was when Begley fed Archibong to keep Temple at bay.
Yeah, a little look into the left corner, looked the defense off, and Archibong basically all alone underneath. But on a day when Temple couldn't get it from Lynn Greer and Kevin Lott, and really the Penn Quakers never got their three-point game going, Penn able to hang on.
Quakers now 7-3, looking good, heading towards the Ivy League portion of the schedule. Temple struggling, 3 up, 8 down. They have lost 6 consecutive games. Stay tuned to Comcast Sportsnet. Fight Time Boxing is next later on after Eagles Giants.